weighing in at 195 pounds. He hails from Salt Lake City, Utah. Here is Josh Prohibition.
Are they all coming out of the floor or what?
Yeah, that's how we did it.
And ladies and gentlemen, about to make his way towards the ring area, introducing to you from parts unknown, weighing in at 175 pounds, please welcome the barbaric berserker, Jimmy Jacobs.
Who's the guy wearing the music? They're gonna run into me or something, dude. Good haircut, dude. You get all chopped off.
We are underway with another exciting action-packed IWC home video release. This is Erie Explosion. The curse has been lifted. Joe Dombrowski here at ringside, alongside ring announcer Chuck Roberts, momentarily joining us. And Chuck Roberts, what a great way to open up IWC's debut up north. We finally made it to Erie, Pennsylvania.
Well, you're exactly right, Joe. We are in Erie, Pennsylvania, and it's kind of eerie that I'm here because it's been a long time since I've been here. But nonetheless, hey, I'm pulling double duty too, so you have to excuse me. I'm a little lost of breath right now. But what a great opening match we have right here. Josh Prohibition and Mr. Huss himself, Jimmy Jacobs.
Jimmy Jacobs, not quite your most average individual as we've seen, but Josh Prohibition has been very off the wall as of late as well. We see the new attitude Josh Prohibition has, not only with his body language, also with his look. He took care of all that boy band type hair, and he's now more serious than ever.
Well, and I would also have to say, to give Jimmy Jacobs the credit that he does deserve, and well noted, he might be an average type guy, so to speak, but he does perform above average in that ring, as we've seen many spectacular maneuvers delivered by Jimmy Jacobs. And you are right, though. The one thing that has been the downfall for him is his lack of size. Because when you're taking on a large opponent, it's important to have power and strength behind you.
And it was just 24 hours ago that we saw a tag team match at our Hell Hath No Fury live event down at CCAC South Campus in West Mifflin. Another great DVD for you to pick up, as it was Josh Prohibition and his partner Matt Cross taking on Jimmy Jacobs and John McChesney. And John McChesney and Matt Cross has been a very, very heated rivalry these past couple months here in IWC, and it seems to have boiled over into their partners.
Absolutely, and right there, you're not going to get anywhere by pushing the official as Josh Prohibition. It might be a new aggressive style by Josh Prohibition, but I wouldn't suggest that the fans are following it too well.
Collar and elbow tie up center ring, Josh with the go behind. It is important to mention that Jimmy Jacobs, with the exception of his IWC title match against Eric Ecstasy back at Summer Ciglar, Jacobs is still undefeated in one-on-one competition.
Well, that might be a very good note to point out. You're absolutely right, Joe. As right now, we see a little bit of the antics that takes place inside this ring. And taking exception to these is Josh Prohibition, who doesn't like the foolish style of Jimmy Jacobs.
Well, Jimmy Jacobs is a master of mind games. He likes to confuse you, and then he can bait you right and hit you with a move like that drop toe hold.
Well, I'm willing to bet the reason he calls himself as the Barbaric Berserker would have to be a little bit of an homage to the Berserker of yesteryear who wore similar boots.
John Nord, Bruiser Brody, all heavy influences in the life of Jimmy Jacobs. Jacobs doesn't realize he's not 6'6" and not 300 pounds, and that oddball mentality only helps him in the ring.
Well, the referee seemed to think Jimmy Jacobs is a little bit larger than maybe his reality. There's a couple chops to the top of the head.
Rare moment by Jimmy Jacobs actually outsmarting his opponent, tripping Josh after telling him to run into the ropes.
And I think right now Jimmy Jacobs is going to try to get the fans behind him on this flurry of blows.
I notice the fans are counting. They are hussing along with the Barbaric Berserker, one of the most popular stars in IWC.
I think that last huss was actually a 10. But regardless, Jimmy Jacobs definitely a fan favorite. And let's not be mistaken here. Jimmy Jacobs may be a small competitor, as we've noted, but he certainly does have his eyes set on that IWC championship. He'd like to get his hands currently around the waist of our champion, Eric Ecstasy.
No doubt about that. I mean, IWC champion Eric Ecstasy and Jacobs have crossed paths before, and after Jimmy Jacobs sustained so much punishment in that title match a few weeks back, you have to believe another title shot will be somewhere in his future.
Right now, Jimmy Jacobs set off. Oh, nice drop-down elbow. As you could have it here, no, 2 count only.
Jimmy Jacobs has such resilience in that ring. He can absorb pain like no other man. We thought he has one of the hardest heads in wrestling, but he also has one of the biggest hearts in wrestling.
And you know, one thing you mentioned earlier about Josh Prohibition and his new attitude, I think it's important to mention the new look he's sporting. He's got kind of a scruffy look to him. He looks a little bit more aggressive, but you know what? That's the mental tactics that you take when you get inside that ring. If you can get your opponent to think that you're going to beat him, you've already lost a little bit already.
No doubt about that. Josh Prohibition was gone from IWC for about 3 or 4 months, and in that time off, it appears, as we see, vertical suplex, looks like 6 o'clock. Drills him down beautifully. It seems Josh Prohibition, as we have a near fall, Josh Prohibition has been planning his return and planning his ascension, possibly back to the top of the tag team division, or maybe even a singles title. See, Josh Prohibition got double underhook there on those arms of Jimmy Jacobs, stretching out the shoulder ligaments in that area. Jimmy Jacobs is not so much destined to be a submission hold as it is a wear-down hold. He wants to weaken a part of Jacobs' body and exploit it later. Maybe set up that upper body for a drunken driver later.
Definitely a great submission maneuver delivered by Jimmy Jacobs, but that pace was slowed down by Josh Prohibition, who definitely doesn't want the momentum to stay in the corner of Jimmy Jacobs. But look here, 2 count only. You're not going to get like that by not hooking a leg, especially somebody with Jimmy Jacobs and the heart and desire that he has inside that ring. As it looks like.
Wait a second, Chuck. Here it is. He's hussing up.
I'm not exactly sure what you said there, but I believe he's getting an extra flow of adrenaline. That's for certain. A block of a right.
The huss up is complete.
Blocks again and another right hand. I tell you what, Joe, if I see a big boot leg drop, I will have seen it all. Look out! Oh! What a nice tomahawk chop. Perhaps some Indian roots, who knows? Who knows where these Nordics or these parts unknown really come from?
Headbutt in the corner, Irish whip, but Josh able to reverse it. Oh, there's that big boot you were looking for, the big furry boot right to the head.
Oh, nice hurricane rana!
Snapped it off perfectly.
The cover, the 2. No, oh wait, I didn't even see that. Josh Prohibition knowing where he is, which is surprising. His brains were just scrambled.
There's the ring awareness of Josh Prohibition. Jacobs likes to fly.
To the top! Right between the eyes. And now the cover. The 2. Oh, 2 count only.
Shades of Tatanka by the Barbaric Berserker Jimmy Jacobs, channeling the spirits of so many legends.
The lumpy Indian you're referring to, right? Oh, Lumpy. Pardon me about that.
No, you say hi to Tatanka, right?
How?
Hey, how are you?
That's enough. That's old school. Irish whip reversal. Off goes Jimmy Jacobs. Ducks the clothesline. Look! Oh!
Josh hits the sobriety test.
Well, there it was. That'll make you sober in seconds.
And of Josh's signature moves. Again, that rock hard head of Jacobs bails him out. He's able to kick out. And Josh done too happy, losing focus now, yelling at our official, Mr. Bryce Remsburg.
Well, Bryce has asserted himself pretty well in this, but Josh Prohibition keeps taking exception to it. Look out! Oh! A tornado DDT right in the center of the ring. Now perhaps the cover. No, it looks like Jacobs wants to finish him off. Maybe an aerial move. what he says. He's going to go to the top, Joe.
Jimmy Jacobs has popularized and perfected a senton bomb. Wait a second.
We have out behind us, Joe.
We have company.
Oh, my goodness.
Matt Cross interjecting himself in this match, helping out his tag partner, Josh Prohibition. We talked about the rivalry between those two teams, and here comes Josh, drunken driver.
Well, the drunken driver, I think this could be all, and he got it.
No one gets up from that.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is opener, Josh Prohibition.
M-Dogg 20, Matt Cross, making himself known in this match. He was not a part of this contest. He bails out his tag team partner, Josh Prohibition, and these two get one over on the Barbaric Berserker. Jacob's first non-title singles loss. M-Dogg, Matt Cross, and Josh Prohibition better soak it up all they can, because you know John McChesney won't be happy when he sees this. Oh, wait a second. Don't tell me they're not done yet. Insult to injury, or perhaps more injury to injury. Prohibition and Matt Cross stomping away. This is uncalled for. Get somebody out there. Here comes McChesney. Erie's own fabulous John McChesney runs off the Burning River Brigade of M-Dogg and Josh. And listen to the ovation this hometown boy is seeing. M-Dogg, Matt Cross, and Prohibition take a powder, but it's only a matter of time before McChesney gets retribution on Prohibition, and more importantly, M-Dogg 20, Matt Cross.
What's up, Erie? I'm sick and tired of you two messing with me, especially you, M-Dogg. Tonight I finally get you one more time, one-on-one. I'm taking you out. I'm taking you out.
Ouch.
You know my mom's right over there.
I don't recognize her from the front over the back.
That's repulsive.
I ain't got nothing else to say, M-Dogg, except for I'm taking you out. And after you, I gotta say one thing. Chris Sabin, you and your Super Indy title are just right after M-Dogg.
That's right, M-Dogg cost McChesney a shot at that Super Indy title right here in Erie. McChesney's going to go through Cross and then get the Sabin, and he's doing it all tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following tag team attraction is scheduled for one fall. About to make their way towards the ring area at a total combined weight of 483 pounds. Please welcome the team of Blackjack Marciano, the King of Diamonds, Eddie Kingston. Here are the Wildcards. They hail from Ozone Park, New York. Ladies and gentlemen, here are the Gambino brothers.
Tag team action here at Colley Auditorium in Erie, PA. The Wildcards, Eddie Kingston and Blackjack Marciano, taking on the debuting Gambino brothers, Mickey and Marshall. What do you make of the Gambino brothers, Chuck Roberts?
Well, I don't know if I'd hire them to move me, but nonetheless, they are brothers, and they come from the Gambino brothers moving. Is that correct?
That seems to be what their T-shirt says. Also, graduates of our Coalition of Competition Training School.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, those are either Dickie or Cintas pants.
Interesting.
They look like they could withstand a lot of pressure, in other words.
And it's Mickey in there right now with Mr. Eddie Kingston. Trades of hammerlocks back and forth by both men. And the Wildcards definitely been making a name for themselves lately all over the country for several major promotions, both in the East Coast and the Midwest. And it's great to see they finally made their unique brash style of wrestling here to IWC rings.
And this is no easy task for the Gambinos to get inside the ring with the Wildcards. As a matter of fact, I was going to say, Joe, I actually like the Wildcards. They got an unbelievable cocky attitude. However, they can back it up inside that ring. I mean, I don't always particularly care for their antics with the fans and whatnot, but nonetheless, I mean, they're two very talented athletes. And don't forget, not too long ago, they gave our current tag team champions, I'm talking about Tracy Smothers and Chris Hamrick, a run for their money.
Right, that was a tremendous contest, but how can you be a fan and a supporter of these arrogant, overbearing individuals?
Because they back it up in the ring. I've always said, no matter who you are, no matter what you do, Joe, if you can back up your words inside that ring, then you deserve to talk. And these guys have proven that.
That's what
they get a little more, complain, and they can be whiners a lot, and I don't agree with that. But nonetheless, these guys can back up what they say.
So you're saying, to quote Dizzy Dean, if you can do it, it's not bragging?
Pretty much. I think I would go along with that. I think I wouldn't write a book about it, but nonetheless, I agree.
Right now, your Wildcards are stalling, and Mickey Gambino, he's serious now. Look at the great shape Gambino's in. It's been about 5 or 6 months since we've seen him in a ring, and obviously he's spent a lot of time in the gym.
Well, he obviously has, and it looks like while Mickey Gambino's in the ring, his brother's in the buffet line.
And he hasn't lost any speed, too, outquicking both Wildcards until he got jumped from behind by Blackjack Marciano.
Oh. You know what? Blackjack's going to take advantage of you if you take your shirt off. They're going to hit you with their high-cross body. We had an opportunity, it was months ago, to see Gambino in singles action. If I'm not mistaken, that was at, I think it was Hopewell High School.
We've seen him
months ago.
We have seen him a few times in the early part of 2004, but he's sort of been MIA ever since he was attacked by Sterling James Keenan and his then rival CM Punk and given a spike pile driver. It's great to see him finally back in the ring and doing so well against such a great team.
And someone takes on nice double body slam right there. 2 count only. Let me take nothing away from Marshall of the Gambinos. I mean, this guy is strong. What this guy might lack in size that his brother has, he really makes up for it in brute strength.
No doubt about that. Definitely the power and the muscle behind the team. Now cinching back on that arm bar. Trying to wear down the opposition.
And it's got to be tough for these guys. They've traveled all the way up here to Erie to kind of debut as a tag team. They're seen here on WBGN. And it's got to be tough. There's got to be butterflies in these guys' stomachs.
I mean, look at the distribution of IWC tapes and television. You look at smartmarkvideo.com, our friends at ROHWrestling.com, as Gambino hits the back elbow. Of course, our good friends at Digital Horizons, always helping us look top-notch, as always. In this your highly rated TV show, there's so many sets of eyes that are either watching now or will end up seeing this. Got to be the butterflies.
The one thing I like about these two guys is they've really added to the ranks here of tag team action in IWC. For a while, we were just talking about what a great addition the Wildcards were, because it was kind of a loose collection of wrestlers who got together to battle for the tag team belts. But we're really starting to see the tag team scene pick up here in IWC.
Look at the Wildcards, the Gambino brothers, M-Dogg and Josh, Babu Huss, Ecstasy and Spectre, the Ring Crew Express, not even mentioning our tag champion Southern Comfort. Our tag team division is deeper and more exciting than it's ever been.
And I think it's only going to get better. And these are two real young stars inside the ring, so it's nice to see a match like this. And you can tell here, lots of times when you see newer factions get inside the ring, they keep it real basic. They keep it down to the ground. They keep mat wrestling, because that's what they should do. They should keep it the basics, and they should work within the parameters. They know best.
Version of a heart attack into a backbreaker, sends down Mickey.
I'll tell you what, that was delivered much better than Anvil Neidhart could ever deliver.
Oh my God.
If his chest isn't busted open right here, Joe, there's no chance. And it looks like, I'm pretty sure that's not a shadow. There's a couple blood vessels broken in his chest.
Wicked knife edge chops to the youngster Gambino.
Mickey right now, I'm sure, wishes that he never. He can't get in that way, Marshall.
And there's the inexperience of the Gambino brothers. He's trying to help, but he's doing more detriment than anything. The Wildcards with an illegal double team as Bryce Remsburg is distracted.
And again, these are the look at this. Look at the Wildcards.
They're so great at getting under people's skin.
When you've been in that ring for a long time, you know how to use everybody to your advantage, your opponents, your referee, and it looks like they're doing it better than Sunset Flip rope on the inside. 2 count only.
Gambino mounts a brief comeback. Can he follow through? No. Kingston right back up to deliver the back elbow.
Moves like that make me always glad that I'm behind the microphone and not in front of it. You know that? Because it looked like not only did his back hit hard, but his head and neck hit that mat very hard as well.
Another tag made by the Wildcards. Slam sends Mickey down.
Oh, nice elbow. Delivered. This could be all right here, Joe. 2 count. No.
Near fall situation. Mickey still has a little bit left. You know, we saw the Wildcards defeat Dunn and Marcos, the Ring Crew Express, back several weeks ago at Summer Sizzler. If they can get a win here over the Gambino brothers, you have to think a return match for the IWC Heavyweight Tag Team titles could be in their future the next time we see Tracy Smothers and Chris Hammer.
I really think, and the showing that they displayed against Tracy Smothers and Chris Hammer at Turkey Town, I really think that they're going to get that title slot nonetheless. This is going to be great momentum for them, however. And certainly, think about what it would mean for the Gambino brothers if they pulled off a victory.
Gambino returning the chops, but with Marciano's shirt, it doesn't have nearly as much as the sting as a clothesline takedown has Mickey on his back once again.
As I said, I'm sure Mickey has to be thinking every second, I wish I didn't throw my shirt out to the crowd.
Frequent tags by Kingston and Marciano. Double holla at your boy elbow drop. Use Gambino for a 2 and almost a count of 3.
That was a 2.5 right there. And I think Marshall, regardless of the rules right now, he might want to step in there. Maybe if he can get a shot, maybe if he can, you got 5 seconds to get in that ring, you want to use that to your advantage.
Have to believe the blood is starting to boil inside Martial Law as he continues to want Waiting to get back in the ring. High delayed vertical suplex into another cover.
Oh, 2 count only.
Not just the impact of the move, but also the energy of kicking out. Takes so much out of Gambino. That's really the point of these frequent covers here. Doesn't necessarily think he's going to beat him, but it's definitely going to take a lot out of you to kick 230, 40, 50 pounds off of your front of your body.
Nice double axe handle delivered there by the Wildcards. How about a little bit earlier on when we saw Fabulous come out here to his hometown crowd?
That was quite an ovation, but now the Wildcards, they say they're going to stick a fork in him. He's done. Suplex. Nicky Gambino pulls one out of nowhere, but Marciano's in between him and his corner. Pull through. He got him. Marshall Gambino.
Look out. Pulls up a nice clothesline. Now goes the Wildcards.
All of that weight steamrolling through both Wildcards.
Oh, if the first one doesn't take you down, the second one sure will.
Jumped up for a little extra leverage. Kingston right there with a kick right to the external occipital protuberance.
The what?
That's a bump on the back of your head.
Oh. You sure about that?
Yes.
Nonetheless.
Hard knife edge chops, Irish whip.
The freshman Marshall inside that ring. Look out! Oh!
Version of a riding bomb called a sky high here in the States. Side slam coming up.
Looks like they might set him up. Could it be? Oh! That's a demolition decapitation right there,
That's
Joe.
right.
That's the decapitation. Could we get 3? No! I think, no, it was 2 count. I thought that was a 3.
These Gambinos are great athletes, tremendous young prospects, but if they beat this wild card, you might have to call this a mild upset.
Unbelievable. I haven't seen that move in a long time. And I don't know, Joe. I mean, you're the man, you're the insider here. Was that the finisher?
That might have been. I haven't seen these Gambino brothers before, so they're as new to me as they are to you. Suplex coming up.
Wait a second. Oh,
But sourceless for the wild cards.
He got it.
They stole one.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are your winners, the Wild Cards.
Kingston and Marciano pulling the foot out from under Marshall Gambino, getting a tainted victory, holding onto that foot for illegal leverage. Some of our fans trying to tell Bryce Remsburg about the infraction, but what's done is done. The Wild Cards get the victory over the debuting Gambino brothers. A great showing by Mickey and Marshall, but the Wild Cards keep their winning ways going.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following 6-man tag team attraction is scheduled for one fall. About to make their way towards the ring area at a total combined weight of 713 pounds. Please welcome the team of J-Rocc, Wonder Man Glenn Spectre, and the reigning IWC champion, Erie Explosion.
Come on!
total combined weight of 694 pounds, please welcome the team of Dirk, Ciglar, Shirley and the reigning NWA TNA X Division champion, Petey Williams.
What is sure to be a hellacious six-man tag team match as the ultra-controversial Erie Ecstasy and Glenn Spectre team with their new charge J-Rocc against Dirk, Ciglar, Shirley and the NWA X Division champion of the world, Petey Williams. Joe Dombrowski calling the action, along with special guest referee Bryce Remsburg. Pleasure to have you here, Bryce.
Pleasure to be here, Jumpin' Joe. I'm trying to decide which is a more bizarre trio, the J-Rocc Spectre Ecstasy side or the Doe Ciglar Petey Williams side. I don't what all these guys have in common is beyond me.
And Bounty Bryce, we know, we have to touch this right off the bat. Erie Ecstasy, we saw a lot of stalling from him. Did not want to get in the ring with Shirley Doe because Doe has a date with Destiny. It's Saturday night, September 25th, back at CCAC South Campus in West Mifflin. Ecstasy tries to nip up here, tries to escape the hold, just goes to the front of the ropes.
And obviously, I'm sure you've said it time and time again, what the title means to Shirley Doe. I mean, if there's one guy that lives and dies IWC, it's Shirley Doe. And of course he feels Ecstasy and Spectre and all their shenanigans. It's an insult to the title, you know?
Oh, definitely. He has so much pride and respect for that championship. And that's why the match was made September 25th. Doe versus Ecstasy. However, keep in mind Doe's enemies with the state of Pennsylvania. And Commissioner Representative Chris Wood ordered the only way that match would go down is if he was the guest referee. But then Norm Connors countered by naming a second referee to that match, none other than the legend himself, Mick Foley.
Wow. As if he didn't have enough excuses to be at CCAC on September 25th. Mick Foley, my goodness.
Plus, on top of that, Ring of Honor champion Samoa Joe defends that prestigious belt against the returning Fallen Angel Christopher Daniels as Wonder Man Glenn Spectre getting distracted by these fans in the ring here as he takes on Petey Williams.
We're in Erie, by the way, Joe. Erie, PA.
Yes.
My
our
first
debut
time in Erie.
at the Cauley Auditorium. Beautiful venue.
Auditorium. Historic, I'm sure.
It's great to be back here. The Cauley Auditorium was the very first time I saw Glenn Spectre as the Wonder Man, so it holds a special place in my heart.
I'm sorry.
You know, Joe, if I can sneak in here for a second, this is a wonderful opportunity for all of us, especially Bryce. Thank you for joining the broadcast. I know you've requested to come into this. But this would be an awesome opportunity. How often do you hear an official give some insight, especially on a match like a six-man tag? And Bryce, you know, with all due respect to you, this would be a good opportunity for you to see exactly what we, as a fan's perspective, might see inside that ring that, you know, Bruce Gray might not see.
Absolutely, and I gotta say, according to these fans in Erie, I'm 0 for 2 tonight, too. I missed a couple of things, so keep an eye on the chance. But, you know, Bruce is the ref, and when I'm out there, I'm the ref. It's no instant replay rule around here.
Side headlock by Petey Williams on Wonder Man Glenn Spectre. Of course, Petey Williams.
Oh,
Spectre.
Geez. Call that a thumb in the ass.
Goes for the Greco-Roman
We might have
butt
to pull
grab.
the beat button on that one, Joe. What do you think? Leave that out. But that's
Please show some decorum, guys.
Okay, the buttocks.
Oh my God!
In a match like this, it's very difficult to show some decorum. You don't know how to describe some of this action.
Looks like prison rules, Chuck. Oh, no. J-Rocc's, you know, special like that.
They practice together a lot. I don't know where and I don't know when, but I know they do work together a lot. And it doesn't look like J-Rocc wants to be a part of this tandem.
Joe told me it was your basement, Chuck.
I promise you that's
and
not
a good game for J-Rocc.
Well, J-Rocc, it wasn't too long ago where J-Rocc came out of the crowd disguising himself as an Eric Ecstasy dress-up, came into the ring, and helped Eric Ecstasy retain his championship over Shirley Doe. J-Rocc does not exactly look like one of the other members of his team, so you have to wonder why he's formed this alliance.
I gotta think, punching Shirley Doe in the head's like preaching to the choir, Joe. I don't know if it's doing a whole lot.
Series of right jabs followed by the chop as Shirley Doe
move by Shirley Doe.
takes control.
That is a bad part of town. Now look at this. Now this is what you're talking about here. See, I thought they just wanted to tell me to get him out of the ring.
And now Ecstasy tagged in. Now when Doe is horizontal on the ground, a tag is made, and in comes Eric Ecstasy, picking his spots against the number one contender for his title.
Now, Ecstasy and Spectre have the experience of a tag team over here. Nobody on the Williams, Ciglar, Doe side tags regularly. See, you got to figure that maybe some tandem moves or whatever they have to. Oh no! Uh-oh.
Unusual cover, but thankfully Bruce Gray was distracted and didn't have to see that. Glenn Spectre and Shirley Doe have a history as well. They both went over to Japan together to tour for DDT Pro, among many other promotions. Doe came back the same, but this is what Glenn Spectre came back as.
Joe, is that a skirt that Glenn Spectre is wearing?
Your expert analysis.
Shirts and shorts and a skirt.
I hope he has Mr. Blackwell's phone number, as now Shirley Doe is caught in the wrong end of town. The Big Daddy Destruction, the bisexual boy toy, and the Wonder Man all working on Doe as Eric hits the back elbow.
And I reckon that Blackwell reference went over more people's heads than got it.
Headbutt.
Way downtown.
And he's enjoying that way too much with the headbutt.
Maybe we should make references other than this match when moves like that take place.
To the way lower abdomen.
Talk about whatever you want to talk about, Chuck. Oh. Taking a picture.
I just hope we have no replay of this match. That's all I'm hoping, Bryce.
I don't need to watch it. Oh, there's a GS in there. Okay, he's hiding.
Doe hits
Big
a bear
bear
hug.
hug.
Spectre might be enjoying this, taking it as a tiny little taste of affection. Oh, man.
Now, I never thought Doe was Spectre's type.
Stiff Japanese type forearm
all
shots
legal.
and knife edge chops dazes Spectre back into the corner.
Now that's a low blow. Blatant. He
Judgment called by your colleague.
He's telling him inner thigh, you know.
Now I have to ask, what's your opinion of Bruce Gray overall as a referee?
Bruce is a nice guy. I'm just kidding. Kick out. I think Bruce does an excellent job, and this is his house, you know. But I mean, ask him what color Glenn Spectre's skirt is. Forget it.
Armbar by Spectre as he backs him right into the wrong end of town, isolating Doe away from his partners. Eric Ecstasy might want to think he might have commanded his charges into weakening Shirley Doe before that big showdown, September 25th at CCAC Southampton.
Say what you will about Ecstasy, but he is no dummy. He's definitely picking his shot.
And now J-Rocc back in with Shirley Doe. J-Rocc still a relative newcomer at IWC, but he's been scouting the championship picture. And now obviously with his alliance with Eric Ecstasy, he has some goals, whether it be to help the champion or eventually get that title in the future. Clothesline into the corner. Doe it's throat first into that turnbuckle.
Right to the cover.
Great fluidity on the part of the Big Daddy of Destruction. Have to look out for J-Rock's finisher, that Death Valley driver variation called the one-hitter quitter. But right now the champion is tagged in.
You think he could get Doe up for it, Joe?
I think it's very much possible. J-Rocc
cross buttock throw into the corner.
is a great powerhouse, but also Eric Ecstasy is as well, as he has Shirley Doe reeling in the corner. And we have to get
fans of Erie solidly behind the Doe Ciglar Williams trio.
Doe has to get a tag pretty soon, or else he's done for.
Oh, Doe fires back, fighting spirit up. Oh!
Ecstasy counters with the sidewalk slam. Into the cover. Does Doe have anything left? And he does. I think Ecstasy's goal here is to make sure Shirley Doe doesn't make it to September 25th, doesn't make it to that match with dual referees Chris Wood and Mick Foley.
Off the ropes. Corner more. Another cross buttock throw.
Jumping butt into the corner. Variation of that, almost that shining hip attack he likes to do.
Remember the jumping bomb angels, Joe?
Yes, I do.
Just wondering.
An obscure late 80s WWF Women's Division tag title reference
Survivor Series, man.
by our good friend Bryce Ramsburg.
Petey Williams has yet to see a lot of action here in this six-man tag. And I don't think that's an accident by the trio on the left side of the ring. They know what Doe can do. They even know
DDT Ace Crusher combination takes down J-Rocc and Spectre.
They even know what Ciglar can do, but Petey's the wild card, so to speak, over here.
And there's a Riki Choshu-like lariat by Shirley Doe. This is one chance to get to the tag.
Think Riki Choshu's over in Erie? Oh, big tag!
Petey Williams, the X Division champion of the world, with the back elbows and the clothesline.
Going to town.
Jumping in the Gurry kick, and the champion of one of the most competitive divisions in wrestling is on fire. Those Canadian roots are showing. Petey Williams. Are you going to see another one?
We all know what Petey can do with that Canadian Destroyer.
There's ecstasy, though.
We saw it last night.
That's right, the Canadian Destroyer, one of the most breathtaking moves, that flip pile driver. But ecstasy hit the lady killer on Williams. Hard slam. Thought he might have been going for that STD, the sexually transmitted driver.
Sterling James Kidd isn't even here tonight. Shades of earthquake.
Spectre was looking to use that butt as a weapon.
Center, J-Rocc says not yet.
All 6 men in the ring. It's broken down now as J-Rocc sends a weakened Doe off the ropes. Spinebuster.
And Joe, excuse me for leaving my position once again. I know Bryce, you're on color here, but let me ask you. Was Spectre going for the earthquake?
I think he might have been.
We were all over that. We were all, go ring the bell, Chuck. We were all over that.
Spectre loves it. Spectre's weapon. There's the happy ending. Ecstasy hit the happy ending.
Happy ending.
Ciglar might be done for. That's a signature Ecstasy maneuver.
Oh, I get it. Happy ending.
Hey, Bryce, make a good call. Oh,
Gross.
that doesn't happen to you.
Petey Williams.
Snap.
Tornado DDT. Ecstasy lands right on that shoulder.
Oh, both Spectre and J-Rocc were all over that one.
Ecstasy's charges right there to interrupt, as now Petey Williams is the isolated member of the opposing team. Time for palm thrust. No, Petey counters. Low bridge.
Oh, to the floor goes Petey.
We got it, baby! Yeah!
They're getting way too cocky too soon.
Lloyd Christmas's pet in Dumb and Dumber. The headless bird? Anybody?
Please stay unspoken.
Fine. Uh-oh.
Double clothesline, no countered, up and over.
Doe all the way. And it's a long way to the floor here in this ring here in Erie, Joe.
Indeed it is. Doe hitting the floor hard. There's the swanton. Ciglar's going to pin the champion. He's going to pin the champion.
No.
Oh,
J-Rocc interfered with Bruce's count. And again, a judgment call by Bruce. The fans of Erie, of course, want to see a
hard power bomb. Ecstasy put a little extra torque on it.
Not pretty, but effective.
He's signaling for the Canadian Destroyer, I think. Not even any time to reel him in.
No. They knew it was coming. They know what happened to Sterling last night. Oh, the bad guys are standing tall in Erie.
And now triple team to Petey Williams. Ciglar's out, Doe's out. There's nobody left to help him.
Petey could be in a lot of trouble. Oh!
Insult to injury.
Absolutely.
What? That music can only mean one thing. Natural born killers, Bryce.
These fans are looking over here and
out of nowhere, it's the original gangsta New Jack. He just stapled him in the rear end.
Oh my goodness!
He stapled his butt shut.
What is?
Oh my God!
I didn't want to think about that.
New Jack is at his most sadistic.
What does New Jack have to do with this?
This is how he handles him on the mean streets.
What's he doing? Uh-oh.
Not the sickle. Not the sickle.
And it's just him and J-Rocc.
Oh no.
Oh no.
He's choking him with that chain.
Choking the life out of J-Rocc.
New Jack, does he even have a match here tonight?
A no contest or
what's he doing
of some sort. Oh!
Somebody's got to stop it.
M-Dogg going to town
We saw
on J-Rocc.
What New Jack did to T-Rantula not that long ago. Sliced open his ear, his leg. It was disgusting.
Came off the balcony with CCAC.
That as well. Belly to belly by New Jack.
On top of the sickle. Uh-oh.
Here it comes.
Now maybe we're going to see the Canadian Destroyer. Uh-oh.
Check this out.
Geez.
Oh my
God.
Wait, did this count?
Hey, who knows? If New Jack tells you to do something, you do it, Joe.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are your winners, the team of Dirk, Ciglar, Shirley,
When they said Erie Explosion, they were kidding.
New Jack coming out of nowhere, saving Petey Williams from sure defeat. Bruce Gray, very, very lenient.
Yeah.
But the original gangster New Jack has made his debut in Erie, and he took out the trash. New Jack making a statement. He doesn't tolerate that kind of behavior.
I'll Duke the dumpster Grossi.
And New Jack, he's gonna talk. This is gonna be interesting.
New Jack soon. Get ready with the bleep button, Joe.
Look, hey, hold on. Don't leave out the door yet. Don't leave out the door yet. If y'all, come here. I want you to do them a favor. Come here. Stand right there. Get the third one. Get the other dumbass. Come out here. Get him out here. Okay. Come here. And bring little Sweet Bridges with you.
4 on 3?
Right there. Stand right there. I want y'all to picture this. With the other bald guy standing over here, you look like a penis and 2 nuts, you faggot.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, jeez. We apologize for the offensive comments.
Politically correctness.
Running the building.
Not one of New Jack's hobbies.
They said, New Jack, I was supposed to fight T-Ranch. Well, last night, one of T-Ranch's testicles was on this.
Yeah.
When he left. They told me, they said, if you go out there and curse one time, they said, we'll never let you come back to Erie and we'll stop the show. I ain't cursed yet. But imagine this. Imagine you being bent over and the 3 of us standing behind you like this. That's what we just did to you. I'm still the baddest that they get. And believe me, Erie will come back. The house will be packed and we'll give y'all what you want.
He didn't curse technically. Seriously, Joe.
So New Jack's laying down a challenge to Ecstasy, Wonder Man, Glenn, Spectre, and J-Rocc. Should be interesting to see if the champion and his cohorts have any guts to accept.
An interesting visual he left us with as well. Oh, no. Well, I guess Chuck has to go fish.
Hold on for a minute. Because I'm about to go get my car and go home. Kill it. There's some guy over here. He called me Old Jack. Check this out. I don't know which one of you said it, but I want you to take a look at a black 42-year-old man that will whoop your ass from here to Bangor, Maine.
I think he just got. Apparently he doesn't want us to come back.
And yeah, I am 42, and I still hold the record of going up 40 feet, diving off, squishing a bitch through a table. At 42 years old, they put everything on me. I got vision in one eye, and I'll still whoop your ass from here to Japan.
You're a banger man.
Some things about me ain't gonna change. When I die, I'm gonna take the virus with me. So whether I'm 42 or 52, your punk asses better enjoy while I'm still here.
Got all that? Maybe Chuck's gonna hang up posters or something. Hooray!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear for New Jack.
Doesn't matter, truck, hit it with a brick and I'm dancing.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest scheduled for one fall is for the IWC Super Indy Championship.
Oh, yeah! Right there!
Introducing to you first, the challenger. Hailing from Shaker Heights, Ohio, weighing in at 212 pounds, here is simply the best, Carlton Kaz.
Red, white, blue. Shut up! 4 or 5 hours before. Oh, the only people who here, my wife is like, he just stood outside 4 hours. It's like
Michigan, he is the reigning IWC Super Indy Champion. Here is Chris Sabin.
And we are set for IWC Super Indy Championship action as the future Chris Sabin defends his belt against simply the best Carlton Kaz. Joe Dombrowski joined once again by the illustrious Chuck Roberts.
Illustrious, what a nice, wonderful welcome. Thank you very much, Joe. As what contest we've seen so far here in Erie, as I've been looking forward to this one for a long time, this is Carlton Kaz's opportunity to really make a name for himself here in IWC.
And after months of hard work, not many people deserve it more than Carlton Kaz. He won a #1 contendership match a few weeks ago at Summer Ciglar when he beat fabulous John McChesney. After helping Matt Cross, we should mention, as there is a, as Kaz nips up, oh, but he's expired.
Oh, what a right hand delivered by Carlton Kaz. And if you will remember, before that, Carlton Kaz was on a huge losing streak. So winning that #1 contention match really did wonders for his career.
But ever since Kaz's return to IWC, he's had a new means and a new lease on life as Sabin hits the arm drag, and Kaz has been doing much better since returning this past spring. Sabin hits the dropkick and Kaz bails.
And I can't speak much for Kaz's equilibrium inside that ring or getting inside the ring as the introductions were.
Wait a second, Sabin's gonna fly. Oh! Looks like an attempt at a tope cut out. Shot right to the face by Carlton.
He might have caught him. He might have caught him with a punch right to the side of the jaw. It was tough to tell from this vantage point. But you mentioned a little bit earlier on about fabulous John McChesney. And we saw earlier on here tonight in Erie how these fans really support their local hero. And it's going to be wonderful to see him in action a little bit later on. But right now, we have a Super Indy title match.
Jumping sidekick by Sabin into the near fall, but Carlton Kaz kicks out. No, you're right, fabulous John McChesney. It's such a great homecoming for him here tonight, and it'll be such a great experience to see him take on his rival once and for all later tonight as Sabin hits the dropkick into another cover, expelling a lot of energy from Carlton Kaz's system by making him kick out.
Yeah, and don't forget, Fabulous is actually taking on one of your guys. You know, M-Dogg 20.
You know, Matt Cross has gone through a lot of changes. He's not the same Matt Cross I once knew, but more on that later. Right now, we have to keep this focus on this Super Indy title match. And I have to mention, right after this, is this a satellite head system? No, Kaz counters into almost a tilt-the-world backbreaker. Cover here.
Nice. Too close to the ropes, though.
Great call, Chuck. Chris Sabin has that ring awareness of a veteran despite only being 21 years of age. And we should mention that Chris Sabin is still completely undefeated here in IWC.
21 years of age. Makes me feel kind of old, Joe. I got to be honest with you. Makes me feel kind of old. Chris Sabin at 21. Wow. How old do I look, Joe? Do I look 21?
Carlton Kaz taking over on Chris Sabin now.
That's not... You were told to count. If you had nothing nice to say nothing at all. I can tell, Joe. That's fine. I understand completely.
Chris Sabin debuted for IWC in November of 2003, and he's defeated everybody seemingly since then. From John McChesney to AJ Styles to Alex Shelley, CM Punk. He won the Super Indy 3 tournament this past May. I know we were alongside each other to call that show. Chris Sabin has yet to be pinned at all in IWC, but when someone finally does, they'll get the belt too.
Joe, do you have a date on Friday?
What?
Oh, I was just curious. I mean, somebody that watches that much tape, I was just curious if you had a date on Friday. No,
excuse me for doing my research.
I apologize.
That's why I'm first string, you're second string. Thank you, sir, as Kaz delivers a backbreaker.
Let's see you in that ring doing introductions. But it's not about us, Joe. Certainly, I was only kidding about that because you're exactly right. Everything that you mentioned is definitely true. 2 count only.
True.
Definitely true. Carlton Kaz, as long as I've known this guy, because I've known him for quite a while, you say that he's kind of had a rebirth. I think he's kind of always been. He's always been cocky inside that ring. I think he calls himself simply the best, because I actually think that he is the best, and he's quite far from it in my book.
But regardless, he is more focused now. He had that way. We have a cover here. But that's not enough to keep Sabin down. When he reformed that tag team with Al B. Dam, Nuvolution, for 1 or 2 shows, that was a failed experiment in Carlton Kaz's career. But he learned from that and learned to channel that into becoming a better single star. And now he is focused on these top prizes instead of fan adulation and how good he looks.
Well, look at this. Wait a second. He's got a crossbow inside the ring there. That'll stretch your back out pretty well. He won't need to see a chiropractor for a while after this.
Stretching away at the lower back muscles. Precarious position here. Could get a submission out of this conceivably, but Kaz also has to watch and make sure his own shoulders do not hit the mat. Because if they do, it gets turned into a pinning predicament, and Sabin could beat Kaz without Kaz even realizing it. Or Sabin, for that matter. Sabin counters out a beautiful technical ability by the man dubbed the Future, but as far as I'm concerned, he's the present for all intents and purposes, and he ends the jumping into Dirk kick.
I'll give you this much, Joe. There's no question. Carlton Kaz has picked up his speed inside the ring. He actually has. I've noticed that over his past couple contests, because I always thought he was kind of slow and methodical. But that might be a key to some of the victory here for Carlton Kaz. If he can pick up his speed, and if he can, you know, it's easy to say if he can get the upper hand, because pretty much most people win if they do. But you got to get the upper hand on a guy like Chris Sabin. He's got to keep that speed intact.
Knife edge chops by Sabin with the forearm shots as he takes over on Carlton Kaz. Off the ropes now. Hard clothesline. And the pace of the match starts quickening, and the more that quickens, the better it favors the younger Chris Sabin, who's carrying on probably a little less body weight and has a lot more speed. Wait, this could be a cliffhanger DDT by Sabin. Shades of such other greats as AJ Styles and John McChesney.
Nicely in the center of that ring.
He's got 3. No, almost a count of 3.
I thought that was it for sure. And you're right, it does take a lot of power to get a guy like Carlton Kaz up there. He's not a lightweight by any means, that's for certain.
That cliffhanger DDT has put away many an opponent from many different superstars. Go behind by Sabin, but Kaz grabbing onto the rope. Nice go behind. Sherman.
Nicely bridged. 2 count only. That'll show you some of the strength that Carlton Kaz possesses.
He had those legs angled. If he would have been able to plant his feet firmly and truly be able to drive upward with that bridge, he might have been able to hold Sabin down, but he didn't have that. He had 95% of what he wanted to, but he just couldn't finish it off to get 3.
Getting caught at the top. I don't know if Carlton Kaz should really try to go up there. He doesn't want to match aerial maneuvers with Chris Sabin, because it looks like he might get the worst of these two here. Perhaps the beginnings of a superplex, tough to tell.
Both men jockeying for position up there on that second and top rope. Sabin going for the superplex.
What do you think, Joe?
Kaz is holding on to that rope. He's not going anywhere.
Nicely thrown off by Kaz. This could be his opportunity. He's got to capitalize on this by getting up there quickly.
We don't see him up top very much, though. High-risk situation. And we see why he's not up there very much.
Not exactly sure what Carlton Kaz. It looked like he was going for a knee drop. Difficult to tell. It didn't matter because Chris Sabin wasn't around.
Opening for Sabin with a spinning heel kick into the corner. He's going to spring in, maybe hit a drop kick. Beautiful vintage Sabin offense. Leaping all the way across the ring to take down Kaz.
And if you will notice, Carlton Kaz dropped straight down on that second rope. I think he might have caught the side of his head or his neck.
Wait, might be going for the cradle shock. Sabin's finishing a maneuver. He hits the cradle shock. No one kicks out of this, Chuck.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this contest is still IWC Super Indy Champion, Chris Sabin.
Chris Sabin retains the Super Indy title and retains his undefeated streak here in IWC. Got to give a lot of credit to Carlton Kaz. This is by far the most high-profile and toughest match Kaz has had in his IWC career. He fought well, he fought hard, but in the end, Sabin proves why he is the deserving recipient of so much praise. He retains the Super Indy title and stays undefeated.
Making his way towards the ring area, hailing from South Central Los Angeles, weighing in at 170 pounds, please welcome M-Dogg 20, Matt Cross.
Oh, sorry. Good job.
And he said he want to copy that man. No, he don't. And after he hear what I said,
and now, ladies and gentlemen, his opponent weighs in at 200 pounds. He hails from right here in Erie, Pennsylvania. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a huge hometown welcome for the fabulous John McChesney.
not to curse. But my music and his music, every motherfucking curse word in the English language. What the filth and foul and foosty food? What kind of garbage is that? I'm Rick James. Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
M-Dogg sucks! M-Dogg sucks!
I'm Rick James.
Getting set for a huge grudge match here in Erie, PA, the Coley Auditorium, as the hometown boy, fabulous John McChesney, takes on M-Dogg 20, Matt Cross. And this match certainly has a lot of history behind it. M-Dogg, Matt Cross, and John McChesney had a best-of-3 series this past July at a non-televised event. They each split the match. The rubber match was set for a few weeks ago at CCAC at our summer Ciglar show. However, M-Dogg 20 had an unfortunate facial injury, couldn't compete. McChesney had to take on Carlton instead for that Super Indy title shot, and it was Matt Cross who interfered, causing McChesney to lose. And because McChesney lost, he did not get a Super Indy title shot here tonight in Erie, PA, his hometown at the Coley Auditorium. As M-Dogg shoots battle off the rope, a shoulder block takes down M-Dogg 20, Matt Cross. Action continues to go fast and furious. The leapfrog by the highly agile Cross. And there's a picture-perfect dropkick. Such great aerial leap by fabulous John McChesney on Matt Cross. And I talked before about the change in attitude of Matt Cross as of late. He's more serious and more focused than ever. He wants to make a mark in IWC singles and tag divisions. Ever since losing that tag title this past May, as Fab dives to the floor with a plancha.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
M-Dogg 20 taken out early on as McChesney can feel it. He's got the fire, he's got the momentum behind this entire hometown crowd. The first time in several months I've seen McChesney compete here at Coley Auditorium as M-Dogg goes headfirst into the ring steps. We should mention the side of M-Dogg's head is still injured. Had an unfortunate incident with a ceiling fan. He's been out of action for a few weeks. That is a definite bullseye still on his head right now. As McChesney goes to work, where's he going now? Oh, he's got the M-Dogg cardboard cutout from the Backyard Wrestling video game display. Of course, M-Dogg 20 and his partner Josh Prohibition both in that game. And McChesney adding insult to injury using that cardboard cutout. Oh, but he's right back on top of Matt Cross with a hard right hand. Irish whip and a reversal. Cross prevented himself from being sent into that post. Oh, here comes the flagpole press. M-Dogg using that gymnast background to his advantage. Oh! Drops down with a splash. The flagpole press.
That's enough to silence the critics right there.
And then he kicked him in the ding-ding.
Everyone's impressed.
Maneuver there by Mac. I didn't know he had that in his repertoire, Joe.
I know how to do that.
Oh, M-Dogg is a very, very agile
Don't ignore me. I showed him how to do that.
No, New Jack, I definitely suggest that might be in your repertoire in the future. You never know.
I used it. I don't use it no more.
He used
I used to do it.
Correction. I stand corrected.
I substituted that for the staple gun.
Oh, so you passed the torch of the move on to Matt Cross?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Exactly right.
Leg lariat by Matt Cross takes down McChesney as we can clearly see New Jack still joining us here for his added insight, but we have a cover. McChesney just barely able to kick out.
Joe, Fabulous has a lot on the line here. This is his hometown crowd. As you can tell, they're behind him solely in this. And if he doesn't win, it really could crush the ego of Fabulous. But
what's his name? Fabulous? He told me his name was Weed. He told me his name was Weed. Now, which one is it?
His name is Fabulous John McChesney here.
Fabulous John McChesney.
That boy got identity crisis. Well, he don't really know who he is. He got a bunch of people inside of him. Right now, he walk in the room, people start applauding. Ain't nobody there but him.
Obviously, New Jack suggesting a little bit of schizophrenia, if you will.
Yes, sir.
On the part of Fabulous, or New Jack Weed to you, I guess.
And he told me his name was.
And earlier tonight,
his mama named him Weed.
We heard John McChesney say that he was going to defeat M-Dogg 20 Matt Cross, and then he was going to move on to Chris Sabin. We know that McChesney had a chance to take on Chris Sabin for the Super Indy Championship if it wasn't for Cross's interference. We have a roll-up.
Oh, nice underhook.
And I noticed our Super Indy champion out here now near the broadcast area watching intently. These are, oh, what a vicious chop. These are definitely two of the top contenders for his title. And Chris Sabin has got to be scouting these guys. He's no stranger to either of them, but definitely doing as the champion should. scouting all the competition. McChesney charging in, missing with the splash, hitting sternum first. Great resourcefulness by Matt Cross. Oh, almost a modified little pommel horse move to get out of the corner. Springboard with the Tatanka-like tomahawk chop.
He didn't. He hit him with a wahoo
Right
tomahawk.
between the eyes, too.
Wahoo.
Wahoo.
I stand corrected, sir.
Everybody always giving Ric Flair a woo. That's wahoo. Anything chopping is wahoo.
You taught me that last night. I'll try not to forget.
Anything chopping, wahoo.
Wahoo McDaniel, I understand.
Great Indian Chief Wahoo McDaniel, absolutely. If I'm not mistaken, didn't Wahoo have a brief stint in ECW?
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
I don't think you want to get him started. As Fabulous tries to counter the chin lock. Matt Cross trying to wear down McChesney, but a simple yank of the hair. And John McChesney is back down horizontal, and Matt Cross is in control.
Well, that's not very nice. Not very kind words said to fans there by M-Dogg 20 Matt Cross.
Hey, M-Dogg is more focused than ever.
No, go ahead. It's just like they got like one of the Negroes in the audience acting very Negroish.
I've been a big fan of Matt
I don't
Cross.
understand why we got to do that when we go out in public. We got to act Negroish. Okay, back to you, Mr. Announcer Man.
Joe, it would be politically correct for us to just listen at this point.
Back and forth with chops. Fabulous hits the back elbow.
There's one black person in the audience, and he got to act like he's straight up some Bob way.
Clothesline, hard shot by Cross.
Almost took off Fabulous's head. And New Jack, trust me, are not ignoring you. Hear every word you have to say.
I don't care if y'all knowing me. Y'all always know me. Because you know I'm telling the truth. See, look at him. He over there standing up. Ought to throw a spear at him and stick him right in the back. Boom, shaka, laka, laka.
Yeah, I've been a big fan and supporter of Matt Cross in the past, but his actions as of late, interfering in these matches, have me changing my opinion of him a little bit. No longer the fun-loving M-Dogg we used to see. This guy is serious, and he's lost some of his credibility as far as I'm concerned in terms of being a sportsman.
No, that's absolutely true, and I think that's what Matt Cross has lost, and that's what could very well perhaps lose it for him in this match.
He's using his
mopping the ring with his hair.
Funny.
He's mopping the ring with Fabulous's hair.
If that's not insult to injury, I don't know what is.
Why has got to be insult to injury? He ain't injured.
He looks pretty injured to me. Well,
Super kick.
New Jack, I will never doubt you again. You're exactly right.
I told you, I taught him how to do that hurricane through Guanajuana.
Right upside the side of the jaw, and both men down. Turning point in this match here for McChesney, if he can recover in front of his hometown fans.
Chris Sabin is definitely watching intently, as we saw a little bit earlier on.
Well,
You're inside the ring, Joe. Who do you think Chris Sabin and like the face?
I don't know.
Name one of these two.
The research Chris Sabin is doing is proof positive why he's been undefeated since his debut here. Change of hard right hands and chops. McChesney and Cross back and
Shades,
forth.
pal. Those are definitely on the mark. Look out.
Nice. Beautiful drop kick, one of McChesney's most beautiful moves in his repertoire as he gains the control as his crowd starts to come alive. Northern Lights takes M-Dogg down. I know Chris Sabin has met John McChesney not only in IWC, but on TNA television before. And McChesney has improved so much since those matches last fall. Gotta wonder if it could be a different outcome the next time.
And you got to think, too, these two guys are definitely going to be not far down the line for an IWC championship match. Those currently held by Erie Explosion. Because they're not looking exactly just at that Super Indy title. They'd love
Death Valley driver, only he drops the knee on the back of the head of McChesney. Knocks him silly. Do we have three? Almost. Unbelievable perseverance. Perseverance by both men, fighting through all this hard-hitting action to finally settle this grudge. Here at Erie Explosion, the curse has been lifted. Look at the vertical leap on the drop kick. John McChesney, heavily scouted by promotions all over the world, including NWA and TNA, and it's very clear to see why.
You got to think that wad of hair gets in the eyes of him. Kind of an odd haircut.
Indeed. Wait a second. Might be going for a little modified snake eyes. He does. Forehead first into the turnbuckle. Fab might be going for a powerbomb. Might be setting up that cliffhanger DDT. We saw Sabin use that move earlier. The cross counters. Duck under. Beautiful move, dropping Fabulous right on the back of his neck.
Joe, I think Vegas odds would have to suggest that this one's about over.
M-Dogg's looking to finish him off now. Could he be going for the cliffhanger? Insult to injury. No, Fab counters out of that move. Tremendously executed cliffhanger DDT. Can Fabulous win in his hometown? And he does.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is your winner, the Fabulous John McChesney.
Applause from New Jack here at the broadcast booth that Chris Sabin saw what he needed to see. He's on his way to the back. A standing ovation from New Jack. When you have a man who's been in the business this long, been in so many places as he has, held as many world titles as he has, respect does not come easy. But they have earned it. A tremendous effort by both guys. Great competitive spirit. But John McChesney comes home and avenges Matt Cross's wrongdoings. What a win for Fabulous here in his hometown. And New Jack is requesting a showing of respect between McChesney and Cross after their hard-fought wars. Well, New Jack wants to see a handshake. He was that impressed by the match. And we get one. Testament to Matt Cross's sportsmanship, a testament to John McChesney as well.
There you go. That was nice.
Of the evening, scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, making his way towards the ring area. He hails from Metropolis, weighs in at 230 pounds. Here is Chris Hero.
Look at Cal move. This the last match? Yeah. We can leave whenever. Let me finish my last bit before I can.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the opponent.
Leave here in a few minutes. Give or take. Stop for something to eat. You know what I mean?
Making his way towards the ring, hailing from Columbus, Georgia, weighing in at 202 pounds. Fans, this is the football medal, AJ Styles.
This shit gonna go in minutes, 20 minutes. This is my last beer.
This is the moment we've been waiting for, our main event here at Erie Explosion. The curse has been lifted at the Cawley Auditorium as the phenomenal AJ Styles takes on Chris Hero.
This is going to be an absolutely phenomenal match, not to overuse the adjective.
You know I trained AJ.
Joe Dombrowski here ringside alongside Chuck Roberts and New Jack.
Don't make me slap you. I trained AJ. Everything AJ know I taught. I got this wrestling magazine at the house. They got all the moves in the wrestling magazine. Step 1, how to do a lip drag. I mean, an arm talk.
That's okay. It's been a long career. We understand you, Jack. We'll work with you. Trust me, we'll work with you. Not that long.
All those kids are not mine. They're lying.
AJ Styles cinching a side headlock, but Hero able to bounce his way out of that, get the momentum on his side. This is only the second match between the two. The first one back in 2002 over in the Midwest. So this is the first time this matchup has been anywhere near the East Coast. Both men.
This is a dream. You're right, Joe. This is a dream match of sorts for a lot of fans that follow independent wrestling. And certainly IWC is able to bring it to them. Not the extreme fashion of some of the matches that we have are, but this one is definitely style and definitely class.
It's pro wrestling as an art form at its finest. And we're seeing Styles with the side headlock, trying to wear down Hero. We've seen many times Hero and Styles can be such Iron Men in this ring. Hero having that.
No, I think New Jack would like to say something.
Yes, New Jack. Chris Hero going that 30-minute time limit draw with CM Punk back at our Summer Sizzler show. And of course, AJ Styles has endless endurance as well. So we could be here a while.
Let me tell you about endurance, mister. Let me tell you about endurance. Let me tell you about my cardio training.
Okay.
I run from the police once a week.
AJ back into the side headlock on Chris Hero.
You know, Joe, I am a professional, and I will try to do this, but since New Jack did offer that, I'm going to have to ask, why is that?
Hold on for a minute. Somebody. I run from the police because I want it. I got a bunch of kids in Pennsylvania that they say they mine, and even they look just like me. They got wide noses like me. They ain't mine, and they keep sending the police after me. Y'all mama, stop doing that. Damn baby mama, sis.
AJ recovers and has Hero trapped in an armbar right now. Hero trying to roll around, get enough momentum and leverage on his side to counter out, and he does. Hero with a height advantage, which means leverage could be on his side throughout this matchup. Hero used to competing with the likes of Punk. Styles used to competing with smaller stars like a Chris Sabin or a Petey Williams. Could be quite a sharp contrast to what they could be used to. Of course, Chris Hero, we saw a blatant moment of disrespect back at Summer Sizzler when he refused to continue the match with CM Punk and basically said Punk wasn't worth his time. And we also saw Hero berate Jimmy Jacobs after he lost his heavyweight title match to Eric Ecstasy. So it's a new attitude by Chris Hero here on his return to IWC. I guess he thinks that might turn a few more heads and cause him to be more of a full-time player here in the International Wrestling Cartel.
AJ will work rings around that boy. AJ can work.
I can't
He
deny that.
might not have the most over personality in the ring, but AJ can work.
You are 100% right. AJ Styles, a former two-time World Heavyweight Champion. He's captured every title in NWA TNA twice.
So that don't mean I done stole every belt I had in NWA too. I stole all the belts they had.
Did you ever give him back?
I pawned 2 of them.
Oh, that's a good deal.
So look, Bill Barron's still trying to find a pawn ticket.
He's also held up
off the ropes. You know, Joe, I really think would be a great match, and you brought him up earlier, would be CM Punk, Chris Hero, and AJ Styles. We've seen Daniel Styles in Homicide, but how about Hero, Styles, and Punk?
Something for the IWC suggestion box is the pace quickens. Styles makes that picture-perfect drop kick.
I don't know if I would have brushed it off as quickly to suggest a suggestion box, but I think that would be one phenomenal match. I mean, we've seen unbelievable encounters suggested between Hero and Punk.
No doubt about that.
And I'll go one further.
AJ up and over with a pescado, takes down Hero. We can't discredit the match in the ring now. That would be a phenomenal encounter, but as is this one, as referee Bryce Remsburg administers a 10 count.
We've already gotten past the discrediting in the ring thing a long time ago, Joe.
And do you remember that match? You remember? Don't y'all sit there and look at me like y'all know what I'm talking about. Don't look at me like, boy, I slapped him.
AJ Styles.
Notice he's talking to you, Joe, and not me.
Also a former two-time Super Indy champion here in IWC. Had his problems lately with Homicide.
Oh, right on the bridge of the nose.
Culminating in a respect match back at our Hell Hath No Fury live event, is AJ with the cover, but Hero kicks out very quickly. He's feeling the effects of that knee drop to the nose, but he's not staying down anywhere near to a 3 count.
You know Tupac ain't dead.
I will take your word for that, sir.
Tupac and Biggie living in the Bahamas, they doing an album. And Elvis is producing it.
Is Andy Kaufman involved? AJ, hard knife edge chop to Chris Hero, backs him right up into the corner. Setting up some other high impact move, but Hero able to counter. Takes him through, more extra momentum on Styles' part, so when he takes that elbow, it hurts even more, and now tosses him to the outside. Hero looking for a breather. You know, both of these men would love to get back in the Super Indy title scene. They would love to continue pursuing that championship.
Stevie Wonder is a musical genius.
This is true, and whoever wins this matchup could be in line for an IWC Super Indy Championship shot in the coming weeks and months. Hard palm thrust to the throat.
You forgot where he hit him? Because you hesitated. And you supposed to be a professional at this. And he hit him in one of his body parts, and you forgot what body part it was.
Wait in the throat. I'm sorry. I'm trying my best.
It's not throat, it's throat. It's throat, not throat. Throat. Talking about throat. Thought you had a degree.
Always good to have constructive criticism from my peers. As Chris Hero back into the ring, working on AJ Styles, not to discredit the action in the ring, a tremendous contest as AJ battles back, shots to the midsection of Hero. Oh, but that hard European-style
Did you know I once married a girl from Pittsburgh and she was still legally married to somebody else?
Really?
This is the honest to God truth.
That's quite a story.
Hey, bro, it cost me a whole lot of money, but she was. Back to AJ.
AJ Styles, oh, Hero's got him in that cravat. A European-style hold on the head area of AJ Styles. That cravat is used many times over there in Europe. He's had extensive tours of the WXW promotion over in Germany. He's now the head trainer of the Chikara School.
OJ did it.
Which is a promotion based in central Pennsylvania. I know Bryson Hero and the referee Bryce Thompson worked extensively with that, and Hero with those hard forearm shots.
OJ did it.
Just distracting referee Bryce Thompson and hitting the eye poke. Not what we're used to seeing from Chris Hero, usually a consummate professional, as AJ kicks out barely after a 2 count.
Santa Claus is a black man.
Hero hammering away on AJ Styles, but AJ battling right back with a chop. Forearm shots to Hero. Has Hero reeling back there on the ropes. Irish whip reversal. Hero hangs on. Might have been a handful of hair there.
Did you know the Grinch stole Christmas? He was a homosexual.
That might be why he had so much inner anger. But regardless, Hero, with the head into the midsection of AJ Styles, trying to take all the wind out of AJ Styles, make it so tough for him to inhale oxygen, and that'll tire you out a lot quicker.
I'd like to say hello to all my babies' mamases. Shaniqua, Kamaquita, Lolita, Bonshikwa, Tanasha, Fanasha, Pozaka, Lozak, Prozac, Kodak.
Another hard shot sends Styles down to the canvas. The momentum sent him hurling into the canvas, but Styles right back up, fighting right back. That competitive spirit and the inner desire to become the best in AJ Styles is second to none. Off the ropes now, Hero, back body drop. AJ lands right on the back, and Hero taking time to celebrate instead of falling through. We'll see if that turns out to be a mistake later on in this match. Hero cannot let the fans distract him, cannot let outside forces distract
Ain't nobody
him.
else. He started messing with the fans.
Hey,
nobody bothering him.
Give me that case. Empty case.
Hero needs 100% focus on AJ Styles if he has any hope of winning. Elevated Boston Crab. Shades of the Lion Tamer / Walls of Jericho. But a rare mistake by Hero. Poor ring positioning. AJ was able to reach right over and grab that rope almost instantaneously. Not the damage done to the back that Hero would have hoped. Another hard shot to the side of the face. Chris Hero hurt his own hand on that.
What time is it, baby?
It's almost 10:20. As Hero and Styles exchange forearm shots. Styles hammering away on.
Apparently you don't watch Eddie Murphy on Comedy View. The comedy show.
I'm gonna check that. I'll set my VCR for it.
You too focused on this right here. AJ just hit him with a Tostita Delata with cheese.
Enziguri kick by AJ as he battles back. During this good match should be a good time to put over our partners, of course, Digital Horizons always does a great job taping these shows. Of course, our video distributors. Oh, there's the Pele kick. The Pele out of nowhere hits Hero in the head. Of course, our partners, IWCWrestling.com, SmartMarkVideo.com, and ROHWrestling.com. And NewJackUncut.com if you want to check out your favorite hardcore legend and what he's up to lately.
I'm in child support court.
And for all the updates on that, check out
These babies ain't mine. And until they can catch me and hold me down and take a blood or saliva sample, they still ain't mine.
You might have to go on the Maury Povich show and get a paternity test.
I done been on Maury Povich. Where you been? See? Been on there.
I missed that day.
It was scared straight teenagers. I was scaring somebody straight.
I think I remember that. AJ with a clothesline takes down Hero. Another one. And there's, I thought he might have been going for that discus lariat, a discus heel kick instead. Almost as dangerous as the Styles clutch, just the discus lariat. The phenomenon. The backflip into the inverted DDT calls the phenomenon. Cover. Unbelievable move by the phenomenal AJ Styles. Beautiful offense. Hero almost down, just barely able to kick out. But AJ's had a lot taken out of him as well. Both guys basically even so far.
And then he kicked them in the ding-ding.
Braun hold into a roll-up. Victory roll, but Styles gets two. Chris Hero still able to kick out. Hero had too much time to recover, charging with a boot. Got that cravat. Could set that up into a multitude of different holds. Modified swinging neckbreaker off the second rope. Cover. Hero has three. Oh, AJ just able to kick out. Bryce Ramsburg signals only a count of two.
You hear the black guy over there screaming again? I don't know why black people do that, man. And don't get mad at me if y'all out there listening. Black people just act the fool. They cut the fool.
Words of wisdom from New Jack as this match continues. New Jack, of course, entitled in his opinion as Hero has him up in the water wheel slam position. AJ counters with a roll through. Styles clash. Can he get the other arm lock? No. Hero counters. Beautiful counter wrestling by Chris Hero. And he's got that cravat and he's got a step over toe hold. Almost a modified STF on AJ Styles. And he's wrenching back that neck and back area. Bryce Ramsburg in perfect position to detect the submission. AJ Styles, not a quitter by any stretch. He's going to stay in this and fight as long as he can. I'm sure he'd rather pass out than give up. AJ reaches the ropes one more time, and a sign of frustration on Hero. Cooler heads prevail here. Hero's got to remain calm if he wants to take out a two-time former Super Indy champion, two-time former world champion like AJ Styles.
Me and Tupac going to the movies.
What are you going to see?
Night of the Living Dead.
That's fitting. Going for the Hero's welcome and a counter. AJ with a forearm shot. A second one, battling back. Running start. Hero counters, but AJ, gracefulness, lands on his feet, hits the heel right into the forehead again. Right upside the temple. AJ going up top. Oh, what are we going to see here? 450 splash. AJ on top of the cover. He's got three.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is your winner, the phenomenal AJ Styles.
Look at him, look. It's one black man in this building besides myself. And he acting like he just escaped from Africa. Like slavery just ended. And he's the first free slave. He's a free slave with a bus pass.
That's New Jack for you in rare form. You can't censor New Jack no matter how hard you try. He'll let his opinion be known.
And I like to say hey to all my baby's mamas and all the ones that's standing on their daddy, baby daddy. And to everybody that lied on me. Jamie, Gina, Renee, Angie, Amber, the black guy over there, the little son of a... Don't put your hand on my mouth. Don't do that.
AJ Styles with the victory over Chris Hero. What a tremendous victory. What a tremendous night.
I'm Rick James.
We got to talk about the next IWC video and DVD release, September 25th. IWC's Boiling Point. A mystery man is on his way to IWC, and he has Samoa Joe in his sights. Who is he? What hell is he bringing with him? We'll find out the 25th. Also on the 25th, Samoa Joe defends the Ring of Honor title against the fallen angel Christopher Daniels. Plus, Shirley challenges Erie Explosion for the IWC title. Two referees, Chris Wood of the Commission and Mick Foley. Plus, I'm sure New Jack will be there raising hell on Team Angela as only he can. You've got to join us, if not live, but on home video for IWC Boiling Point. It's a win for AJ. It's a great debut in Erie. We'll be back in November. Until next time, for Chuck Roberts, Bruce Gray, Bryce Memsford, Carlton Kaz, New Jack, our cameraman Tony Fiore, the whole rest of the locker room. This is Joe Dombrowski. Not signing off yet. Wait a second.
I've never lost a match in my entire career!
That might be a little overstatement. He wrote sour grapes about this situation.
I will see all you losers later! And I swear, I will not lose a match again!
Chris here with a vow to never lose again. If he has that return match with CM Punk, that could be pretty difficult. Chris Hero not taking this win lightly. However, AJ Styles, he's got something to say.
Got the music! I never get to talk, so let me talk, please. Oh yeah, Chris Hero?
Oh yeah!
You're gay!
That wasn't very nice.
I figure this is a family show, that's the best I could do.
That's a complete fabrication.
2 out of 3 falls right now!
2 or 3 falls?
Shades of Tony Clifton with the total fabrication line.
What? So you can use the ropes to beat me again?
What? What kind of allegation is that?
The ropes to beat me again!
Use the ropes? These ropes are way too loose for me to do anything off of.
Oh, yeah, whatever. Hey, you know what? You're a wiener.
I feel like I'm on the playground again. Does AJ have a rebuttal? That's the question.
Just called me a penis, really. Chris Hero!
Remember that tag team? Oh, never mind.
You're still a wiener.
Hold on, you wait right there. You wait right there.
Okay, I'm right here. What do you... Wait. No.
Wait.
Stay there.
Uh-oh.
No, this ain't cool.
We might get too close for comfort here.
Chris Hero's a big douchebag.
AJ,
Whoa!
too respectful to say it himself, had a fan use the verbiage for him.
Come up with something better than that. Anybody? What is Chris Hero? A piece of shit. Oh, Chris!
Oh, no. Chris Hero snapped.
Come on now. Hold on, we haven't had any ladies comment on this situation. Hold on. Ladies?
Hey, sexiest man ever. Come on, give it up.
What is Chris Hero?
Come on.
Do not say the sexiest man ever.
Say it.
Okay, we're done here. I gotta get out of here. Thanks for coming out, you guys. We're gonna do this again.
Chris Hero gets the last one in AJ Styles. These 2 men pass with cross again. A great win for AJ Styles here at IWC Erie Explosion.
Hey everybody, you guys want to see AJ Styles here November 13th in this building? Alright, you got it. He's coming back here. Saturday night, November 13th. He'll be here in Erie for you fans.
And this is Joe Dombrowski signing off. We'll see you at IWC Boiling Point.